Hi and welcome to this impromptu all-seeing eye. So I've just got wind, because I've just had my dinner, I've just got wind of the fact that, what a great saying that is, the cops have swarmed Jeffrey Epstein's Zorro ranch to search for bodies of two young girls strangled during rough sex sessions amid human experimentation claims. So this is literally a few hours ago. I don't know how I've not been on this straight away. Nice fella on X just tagged me in this. So let's have a look at this, because I'm reading this as quick as you are. Now, anyone who's followed my work on iconic.com, various platforms, my Substack, will know that I've been working with Juliette Bryan, an Epstein survivor. 2002, she said she woke up paralysed naked on a laboratory table whilst being held at Zorro Ranch by Jeffrey Epstein. So let's see what this says. And we know about the two young girls going missing. We also heard of reports of another young girl involved with the Epstein circle being possibly buried under the 19th hole, which is meant to be the clubhouse on one of Donald Trump's golf courses. It's all a bit weird. Is this whole thing kicking off in Iran to distract us in a way? Obviously, that is playing out with the messianic agenda, so it's not really a distraction. This is all involved with itself. But in terms of the Olam Haba and the world to come, which is the messianic cult that Donald Trump and Netanyahu both belong to, Chabad Lubavitch are the most kind of surface level evidence of that. The top levels of them, not everyone involved in Chabad, but they are Sabbatean Frankists, really. So it's all involved with playing out this Kabbalah end times narrative, and that involves a being in the new world, their 8th day, after the 6 days of creation, 7th day of rest, and all of that. The 8th day of a transhumanist being that would live forever. So was Epstein involved in trying to create this type of being by stealing women's eggs and fertilising them under Zorro Ranch? As mad as it sounds, there's actually quite a lot of evidence to this, and people have reported some weird goings on even. So let's have a look at this, because I haven't read this yet. The sad story of at least two girls killed during rough sex sessions at Jeffrey Epstein's remote New Mexico ranch is closer to being told following a massive police swoop on the 7,500 acre property. That's just today on the 10th of March. For years, talk of the deaths have swirled around Zorro Ranch in the tiny town of Stanley, 30 miles south of the capital, state capital Santa Fe, but the identities of the girls have never been known. New law enforcement is confident it can find the bodies if they exist and put names to dead girls. Remember, I did a video a few weeks ago about the couple that runs Zorro Ranch. I haven't been seen publicly since 2009. I think their surname is Gordon, if I remember rightly. Agents from the State Department of Justice, along with police and local sheriff's office, started the search on Monday and continued into Tuesday. So it started yesterday. I've only just got, wind of it. The investigation is running in parallel to a truth commission that was unanimously set up, unanimously set up by local lawmakers last month to try and find out exactly what went on at Zorro Ranch. And I can't help to think that my and Juliette's work have a large amount to do with that. Not patting ourselves on the back, but we have been speaking about this on iconic.com for 2.5 years since she revealed to me, the first person she revealed it to, that she woke up paralysed and naked on a laboratory table whilst being held out at Zorro Ranch. She said there were 6 people in hazmat suits around them and another lady at her head who was talking to her who didn't wear that. Now, there is very good chance that this could be what we say it is, the harvesting of women's eggs. Remember, Zorro Ranch is in New Mexico. You've got the Trementina site, which is the Church of Spiritual Technology, so there's cryogenic vaults there. You've got the Dulce Base. You've got Los Alamos National Laboratory there, obviously the Roswell site. You've got the Trinity Test nuclear site. You've got all the goings-on with Aleister Crowley and the Rosemary's Baby early version, the Moon Child, and L. Ron Hubbard. Jack Parsons did that together. L. Ron Hubbard went on to create Scientology, obviously. All that's happening in New Mexico. Lots of weird stuff happening in St. Bart's, St. Thomas Island, and all over there near Jeffrey Epstein's private island as well. So there could well be something to this. I'm not saying there definitely is, but it's great to see they're actually having a look. So with this Truth Commission, we can finally fill in the gaps by investigating the failures that led to the horrific allegations of abuse and crimes at Zorro Ranch, so we can learn from them and prevent such atrocities from taking place in our state going forward. And that's one of the members, the state representative Andrew Romero, said. The operation began just the day after hundreds of protesters gathered at the ranch, now renamed Rancho de Santa Fera by its new owner. They went there as a show of support to victims of sexual abuse on International Women's Day. New Mexico Department of Justice spokesman Lauren Rodriguez said the owners, the family of Texan real estate baron Don Huffiness, have granted access for the search, which, fair credit to them, which is understood to include the entire property and public land surrounding it. Huffiness has said he plans to turn it into a Christian retreat. Wow. Epstein bought the property from former New Mexico Governor Bruce King in 1993, so this has already been attached, we know this. Following his 2019 death in New Mexico prison cell, the property went on sale for $23.1 million. It was later reduced to $18 million. So, if you've got a few spare pennies, you could have bought yourself an underground lab. Agents from the State Department of Justice, along with state police and the local sheriff's office, started the search on Monday and continued into Tuesday. Epstein's sprawling New Mexico ranch has long been reported to have served as one of his private playgrounds for sexual abuse and trafficking. But the disturbing new allegations suggest something even more sinister unfolding behind its gates. Now, we know that he was being funded, he funded George Church, who was de-extincting the woolly mammoth and dire wolf, and was into these genetic experiments, including one of them where they were able to store data to the DNA of someone. So, compromat, stored in your DNA, JavaScript, images, and possibly video. That's something that George Church and his team were able to do. And they are called colossal biosciences. So it goes on to quote and say, "We have people coming forward saying they were drugged, had sex organs and sperm harvested from their bodies, and woke up around medical equipment not knowing where they were or what was happening to them," Romeo told the Daily Mail. And that would come from Juliet Bryant and another lady as well. I don't know if this lady's any longer with us. So this would come from our reporting on iconic.com. Again, we've been trying to get this through with Juliet Bryant for years, and God bless her. She's never given up, and she's never changed her story in 2.5 years of me talking to her almost daily about this stuff. So, whether there's anything to it or not, who knows? I'm not saying there definitely is, but it's good to see that, this goes to show that our reporting does make things happen eventually when the mainstream start to pick it up, which they have done recently, but they're always years behind. Ramo is one of several lawmakers now calling for a state truth commission to investigate potential sexual and medical abuses on the isolated ranch in Stanley, 40 miles south of the capital, Santa Fe. As far-fetched as they may sound, the chilling accounts of human experimentation echo long circulating claims about Epstein's obsession with eugenics and his desire to engineer genetically superior children. Before his suicide in 2019, the convicted paedophile reportedly openly discussed plans to use his 8,000-acre Zorro ranch as a base to inseminate multiple women and produce his own enhanced bloodline. The 8,000 there may be Kabbalistically coded for being the new world, which is obviously the seventh day, is the Sabbath, the 1,000 years rest with the Messiah in the Christian faith and the Jewish faith. Different messiahs, obviously, and then the 8th day being the new world, so that could be a Kabbalistic kind of nod and a wink there, who knows. Though there is no evidence that this sci-fi scheme came to fruition, the recent surge of tips flooding state officials' inboxes has sparked calls for a sweeping investigation into what really happened at the property. It's so dark and perplexing, and I know that if you mention this to someone, it sounds very conspiratorial. Well, it was a conspiracy. To harvest women's eggs. Romeo said, but we need to get down to the truth or what really happened in our own backyard. This is, I'll put the link below in the description of this video. But go and have a look at this, and also look at all the other videos on iconic.com, the actual long form interviews we've done with Juliet. There's several over the last 2.5 years. She's never changed her story. We were the first to break it. There's videos actually on my YouTube as well, this channel. Just clips here of those interviews. There's a full length video that I did with Juliet below in the interview section, which was only 2 weeks ago, commenting on this stuff. So to see the fact that they've actually gone and raided it, I'm not saying this stuff is 100% true. I'm saying that there's something weird going on with these people. And if just looking into this leads us into the deep, dark psychology of what Epstein was up to and the people he was involved with, including Donald Trump, including these Chabad guys, including this messianic agenda, which includes Jared Kushner in Chabad, who's been over there in Iran. This is all causing this World War III scenario. We might have a chance to unlock what's actually going on with these mentalists. We don't have to have all the truths, and some of this might just be speculation, it might turn out not to be true. But what I'm proud of is the fact that this has led the way for people to ask these really deep, dark questions, because who knows what these lunatics are capable of. We know that they're capable of genociding an entire country, Gaza, for this messianic agenda, and now they're doing it again in Iran. And they need to be stopped. And this is a death cult, in my view, a Sabbatean Frankist death cult that perpetuates and permeates all sorts of countries, all over the world, all governments, major governments, societies, secret societies, police forces. This isn't one country. This is a mentality and a cult that has infected and infested all areas of the world right now. And it needs to be... It needs to be brought out into the open and gotten rid of, because this is why the world is so sick today. It's deeply sick with a death cult virus. And Jeffrey Epstein even created a temple that is a replica of a temple that the Sabbatean Frankists used way back in the 16th century. This is very, very real. And this is why we're seeing the world in such madness right now, I believe. So, let's see. Comments below on what you guys think. Let's see what comes of this. We don't have all the answers, but we are definitely starting to ask the right questions.
Don't mention the reptiles, Dave.
Even less is said about the Grey Pope, who some believe to be the true ruling power in the Vatican.
Humans emitting a MAC address.
All of them had Bluetooth signals.
I've never seen it before.
Queuing up to transition their children.
This is the ultimate suicide cult.
What if the symbols around us every day aren't just ornamental?
We lost 1,000 years of history.
What if they're instruction?
That state of awareness is not manipulatable.